Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of El Koki Otaku. Tonight, our special guest with so many lovely characters, such as Yuki So in Alya sometimes hide her feelings in Russian, Lishu in the Apothecary Diary, Ivy in The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash, Muriel Besson in Masamune-kun Revenge. We're going to have fun with that one. And Sylphy Marheaven in The Greatest Demon Lord is reborn as a typical nobody. So tonight we welcome Reshel Mae.
Hey! Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks to you for joining us tonight. So many lovely characters, many fun series. So I'm really excited for tonight.
Yes.
Chat. Let's kick it off with one very funny but unique series talking about Yuki So in Alya sometimes hide her feelings in Russian. Very long title. But
Oh, yeah.
so those who haven't seen this series but didn't catch what it's about with the title, how would you describe this series?
So this series, wow, it's crazy. It masks all the craziness that happens in it, but it's essentially a rom-com, and it follows this girl named Alya, and she hides her feelings in Russian, basically. So she flirts with the main guy, but whenever she does, she speaks Russian. But what she doesn't know is that the main guy also knows Russian and understands her, but she doesn't know that. And that's for the audience to see how this whole romance unfolds.
Which I didn't see that one coming, that the main character also know Russian, just because he grew up in a neighborhood who speaks Russian. Something
Yeah.
like that.
It's like he knew someone, he had a childhood friend that spoke Russian and learned for her. And we still have no idea who that childhood friend is.
Wait, no.
Or do we?
By the way, let me drop the alert. Spoiler alert, guys. This is a new series. No, it's not a new series. Sorry. So we're going to drop minor spoilers because we're not going to waste the time to fan about this series. So
Yeah.
spoiler alert, guys. Enjoy the spoiler or skip a few minutes. Just enjoy the spoiler and you're going to watch it later. So okay, our main characters know who grew up with. But what about your character? Who is Yui So?
Yeah, so Yuki Suou is actually the younger sister of the main character, but Alya doesn't know that, and she just thinks maybe they're together, which is so insane. And Yuki Suou has this aura about her where she's so elegant and classy in front of the school, whereas in real life, behind closed doors, she's a closeted otaku, loves messing with her older brother, and even plays into that. She even says, incest is wincest. And she plays into that kind of trope.
That character killed me. And by the way, I wasn't sure. I see the picture of Yuki and I'm like, she looks serious in the picture. That's not the Yuki I remember. So what experience dubbing this character, which like you mentioned is very interesting. Like she have many faces on this character.
It's such a dynamic shift. It's like from episode 1, oh, she's so prim and proper and elegant. Like, wow, look at me, I'm Yuki Suou. And then episode 2, she does a 180 and she's this little gremlin, this little ball of fire. And you have no idea what she's going to say next. And to me, that was so fun because I never get characters like that. And so I know with this role, I had to commit to the bit, especially because the Japanese VA does. And I know how most people feel about dubs in general. I had to commit to that level.
So from Yuki character, which one was the most challenging phase or Yuki to dub?
Ooh. I'd say when she's more in her villain era, she has more of this cool and collected aura about her, whereas when she's crazy and energetic, that just comes naturally to me because I'm just energetic and bubbly in real life. And I don't normally get villain characters, so that was something that was different for me.
And if my memory does not betray me, on the last episode, she wrapped up the season being the villainess, right? I mean, the counterpart of Alya as a president speech. Okay, so that was kind of impressive. Seeing from a silly, funny character to a very serious, I feel like kind of Death Note at one point, where technically she's like in the next move. Were you expecting your character to grow that way?
I was not. I was fully surprised and excited whenever she came on because it was like, okay, what is she gonna do next? I always watched it in the sub first so I could prepare myself for what craziness I was gonna say next. But I like that it has those different parts of the show, and I think it got to that serious note because they're ramping up for season 2, which is about to come out, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Talking about Otaku Theory, we saw the closing of season 1. We can't wait for season 2. What do we think is going to happen with season 2? Because we have a very wild ending when they mentioned our main character family, and we saw that it was a hard reaction. What do you think we could come from that?
I don't know, because like with the end of the presidential debate, we don't really see who wins. We kind of have an idea that, oh, I think Alya beat Yuki this time. But what if?
Exactly, definitely. We can wait for next season because, again, there's so much drama, slice of life. And we love novela. We love drama. So,
and there's still a romance part of it too. Like they needed dip into that in season 2.
He need to drop it. So at one point say, I want Alya to find out because our main characters totally say something in Russian, something like that.
Yeah, right? Maybe that's what they think. We think is going to happen. So we're going to do something completely different.
Yeah, there's so many beans to be spilled here. But talking about beans and secrets being spilled, one of the most very popular series that really caught our attention and has been a hit since season 1, and we're right now airing season 2, talking about the Apothecary Diary, when you had the character of Lishu.
Yeah.
Many people know about this series, but how would you sell this series to a friend that haven't seen yet?
Oh, it's a beautiful show. The animation is chef's kiss. I'd say it's also rom-com, but it's got more of a serious vibe to it. Just follows Mao, who is an apothecary. She makes all this stuff, and she loves Skyjinshi, who's a crowd favorite. And then I voiced Lishu, who is one of the consorts. And she's also the youngest consort of the people for the emperor. And I thought that was insane. She's like 14.
It's crazy. Again, one of those topics that I was like, damn, we might get cancellation here. But at the same time, be honest, guy, it is history. Like it or not, in the past, this happened many.
Yeah.
Apothecary Diaries is a very interesting series. Many cultural facts here that will help us to learn from the Chinese culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, Lishu is the youngest one. So, being a character where she's like the lady, she's not lady in waiting, she's the courtesan.
Consort.
Yeah. Does that face any challenge to you?
I think when I first was brought onto the show and I didn't know who I was at first. And then when they brought the prospect to me and told me the background, it's like, yeah, she's a consort. She's also 14. I was like, what? They have a child in the show. But then the director reassured me, like, it's okay. The emperor doesn't do anything with her. I'm like, okay, thank goodness. But, back then, probably... Let's not think about that.
Thank you. Let's just probably you guys know what happened. But in this case, isn't that today's considered like grooming, something like that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think again, let's not jump into
let's not talk
in ice. But however, doesn't take out that it's a marvelous series, beautiful colors, the drama. I don't recall watching a series where elements that happen in the first episode part of the story are important and brought back on season 2. And I'm like, wait, so we see our main character Mao like, oh yeah, I still haven't figured out who tried to kill the sexy guy. I forgot his name, the purple sexy guy. And
there's a lot of sexy men in that show.
Our main guy, our kid, who's trying to eat.
She's a main guy.
Yeah. He's trying to fall in love, mama. I mean, he very like Ginchi. And
He's got his charm.
he's cute. The guy is cute. The guy is cute, and I'm surprised how Mama she's playing. I mean, Mama is Mama, but I'm like, yeah, he's a
Go
win.
for it.
He's a
Yeah.
So okay, from so many interesting story that had happened so far, and there's still more happening. Which one is the one that more called your attention or that hit you more?
Or which one? What do you mean?
Like we have so many cases, like the case of the iron maker that he was making special iron that melt with the sun. We had the case of the lady who pretend to be dead. We had the oh my god, so many stories here.
There's so many things that unfold, especially like with Lishu's backstory, how she's pretty much the mom,
Right.
and the legality of that, and that's what's the most interesting. It's like, how could she be the mom and also be the youngest consort? It's like
Right.
all this layers of legality.
And shocking. And also, I feel like season 2 is starting to mention why sometimes they are the concubines, because it can be the by family descendants or family political. So we're learning so much from this series.
Mhm.
But moving on to another series where each character damn have a really tough beginning, and I feel like we all feel like trash when we saw the first episode. Talking about Ivy in the weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. Yikes! For those who haven't seen this series, I will describe this tragic story.
So I want to say it's an isekai, but it's like a different take on an isekai, a very unique take. So basically, this character gets reincarnated in this world, this fantasy world, where everything revolves around stars. And this poor girl, Ivy, she's born starless, and because of this, she's exiled from her home, and now she's forced to survive in the woods on her own, with no friends, nobody, no family, and just survive.
So, spoilers alert. We're going to have spoilers here because we need to accurate. So, that first episode for me was kind of hard to watch because it is a very heavy episode. What we're seeing here, we used to see like the Rising the Shield hero where Nasumi get humiliated with the Princess B, which I forgot her name right now. We have a new one going on right now. Failure Frame is another character that also get like destroyed. But I have to tell you, I can relate another series where we see our main character so fragile,
Yeah.
so sweet, and it's like, damn, what, why, how did you embrace those feelings? How were you able to do this character? Because I will be so destroyed.
So, the other thing about the show is that it was a day and date, which means the Japanese and the English released on the same day. So I didn't get to watch the sub before I got into record. Every time I got in the booth, I just saw what happened right in front of me before I had to record. And whenever the sad parts happened, I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? How are you going to do this to me? And then help me record it. But we did it. We committed. We pushed through. And the director I worked with, Chris George, whenever we did get to those sad scenes, I was in the moment, like in my depressed, sad self to record. And then he would lighten the mood, bring me back out of it.
And I don't remember how many episodes took me to have faith in my character that Abby, that she will get better. But it took time, because I thought like, okay, episode by the end, by minute 22, we're going to have some hope that Ivy is going to do better. Yeah. And I was like, it's not happening. And I'm like, give the hope. And then I read the title, Embrace a Journey Picking Up Trash. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tough story. This is going to be a long, suffering one. Which one would you consider that scene that captured you more or hit you hard or that you remember more?
I say right at episode 1, once she meets Sora and she finally has a friend. I almost cried so many times throughout the show during recording because it's just so sad. It's probably because she's a child out in the woods. That makes it hit so much harder. And it's different from other isekais, because you see all these isekais where the main character is so OP, so strong, and they have no issues whatsoever. And then you take Ivy, who's really put in a bad spot, and you want her to get better, and she makes it through, but she doesn't get OP, but she makes friends.
And every time she asks, like, why this is happening? We haven't done anything. And I'm here like, I know, girl, I know. But
So bad.
and suddenly, like you mentioned, Sora, their best friend, like, your best friend is a slime.
Yeah.
Yes.
She can't talk to you. Is it pa? That's it.
I got a little bit of hope when CL joined the crew, and I'm like,
Yeah.
perfect. I have a cat like a Pandera that I know this guy can kick rears butt, and so finally somebody can kick pot on her behalf. Some justice here.
Yeah. It was nice seeing her arc, though. Like, she went from lonely to slowly trusting again, and I think that's so beautiful. I wish it got a season 2. Maybe it can. I want to see her make it to the end.
Definitely, absolutely. Because again, what if you feel like, oh damn, I want to cry tonight. I want to feel a little bit down. Perfect. This is the one.
Yep,
It's
that's the show.
It's quality in all aspect, in everything. Quality that is tier guarantee. So
Yeah.
talking about more about journey, but not sadly. Let's talk about your journey. How do you made it to the voice acting career and anime too?
Yeah. Okay, so for voiceover, I grew up with anime and cartoons and just loving animation in general. I geared more towards animated movies and TV shows than, like live shows. But when I was in high school, I took my first theater class, and that's when it hit me. Voice acting is acting. It's not just theater and film. And so I wanted to pursue voiceover even more. So I kept pursuing theater and acting to develop my acting skills, because that's the most important. And then at home, I would have my own little microphone set up and started doing voiceover as a hobby, doing like online classes and freelancing, until eventually I worked my way up to Crunchyroll. It was Funimation at the time. I just sent my stuff over, did some auditions, and now here we are.
Cool. And I had to confess, I always share. I don't know if I share this in Spanish because we have our English and Spanish episode. I know in Spanish has before. I always regret that I underestimate the theater class when I was in high school, because when I grew up, back in my time, early 2000 guys. Don't be so hard. No, early 2010 probably. 2010 when I was in high school, when I grew up, theater was kind of weird. It was seen like people just very bad. So when I had the option between music, arts, painting, or theater, I was like, it's no question, it's music. But then now that I'm here, I'm like, damn, in theater, cool had learned so many skills that I will be applying it right now to my current job, and it has nothing to do with art. But the art of expressing something or being able to act the right way, I feel like that's a game changer.
Yeah.
What called your attention to join arts at such young age?
Yeah, so I feel like I joined later than most of my classmates that were already in theater, because a lot of them have been doing theater when they were kids, like in elementary school. And then I popped in high school, like, here I am. But what drew me to it in the first place was, I remember it was the sophomore year of high school. My friend was auditioning for the school musical, and he encouraged me to audition. I was like, I don't think that's for me. Theater's not really my thing. And he said, no, let's just go together and do it. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go do it. So I auditioned, I sang, I did a little monologue, and we danced. And then I end up getting in the show, and he doesn't. I'm so sad about that. Like, I'm
Classic Kiwi.
It's like, you wanted to do this together, and now I'm doing it. And then from that moment, I just fell in love with being on stage, performing for people, bringing joy to their faces with the entertainment that I can bring to the table. And I thought, yeah, let's do this in voiceover. It's the same thing. It's a little bit different, but we're still bringing that same joy and entertainment to people. And I carry that through all the mediums.
Before we move on, you have many characters, a good amount of characters you have given their voice. Which one was which one was that character that was the inflection point that changed your career, that changed your approach on the industry, that you grew up a lot with that character?
Ooh. Oh, it's so hard because I love all of them and I'm so honored and blessed to have voiced them.
Not your preferred character, the one that it really made you like, you were approaching voice acting this way, but suddenly after doing this character, you realize, I feel like now with what I learned with this character, I have a better approach or a different approach, different point of view too.
I'd say I'm still learning. I think the most challenging for me was Ivy in The Weakest Tamer, because before that I had these minor roles and I wasn't in the booth for so long. I'd say like the longest I've been in the booth was probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then we have Ivy who speaks nonstop in every episode. So I have 10-hour sessions. So that was like a workout for me. It was also kind of intense and overwhelming because it's like, oh, I've never had that before. But it made me realize... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
And you're okay. It made me realize like my natural speech pattern and things that I wasn't aware of before. Because like with dubbing, it's so specific. It's like I get the script, but I have to make it fit in these lip flaps. Like I got to get the timing correct. And then with Ivy, I noticed that I'm just a naturally fast speaker. And that's kind of detrimental to my job because I need to make it fit in time with the flaps. And so with Ivy, I learned to sort of control that and overcome that obstacle for myself.
Can we say that Ivy had the most monologue workload that you had from your character?
Oh, yeah.
So that suddenly receiving that workload, we're going to call it workload, I don't know which one the right term, but that amount of monologue with so many feelings, a lot of feelings expressed. How did you embrace that challenge that you're in the booth, recording booth, and you have a big monologue with many feelings that you need to reach the audience through it?
Mm-hmm. So we always do this process, like we watch the sub first, and I have the script right next to the screen. So while the sub is happening, I'm reading the script and I'm processing what is happening. And then we do it a take in English, and that's me taking on the surface level, just attempting the script at first. And then the director always let me try a full page, just go for it, see what happens. And then sometimes he'll keep some lines, and then other times he'll just be like, okay, let's just do the whole thing again. And then to me, I'm like, oh God, I messed up. That was terrible. But no, I really like those second takes because it let me process the script and the emotions and have a better delivery.
Have you been in any scenario where you have to repeat many times one line?
Yes, because I could not get the pronunciation correct. We did it like 10 times. They would play it back to me and be like, this is what you're saying. I need it to sound like this. And I'm like, but that's what I'm saying.
So how do you find frustration not falling in that hole that sometimes, many times we fall when we fail on something, and many times we quit or we fly? On this case, you don't have the option to say, I'm out. How do you find these emotions?
It's kind of nerve-wracking, and it's like a big ball of energy inside you, but you just got to take a deep breath, take a step back, and just do it. It's your job. You're there in the moment. Be there in the moment. Just do it, and then you'll feel better afterwards.
Nice. And talking about just do it, and you're going to feel better after many work, we need to move on to your next character. One of the very interesting comedy approach and different. It's a revenge that has seen many times, especially when couples break up, which I think is really happening here. Talking about Masamune-kun revenge, where you have the character of Muriel Besson. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those have seen this interesting revenge, but many has witnessed this revenge. How would you describe it?
Mm-hmm. So it's another shoujo rom-com, and it follows this guy, Masamune, which is he changed his name. Can't remember what it was before, but he likes this girl in his childhood, but she thought he was so ugly, so fat, so repulsive that she just couldn't be with him, and he took that to heart. And many years later, now that they're in high school, he had a glow up. He's like hot now, and he's like, I'm gonna make her fall in love with me, and I'm gonna reject her. And that's his revenge.
And I feel like we have seen this, not that deep level, but we have seen our friend that suddenly is in a relationship and they break up, and next few months later the guy and the girl went to the gym, is a model, and they're like all fit. And they're like, there's a revenge. There you go. So and you have a very interesting character. You have the character of Muriel Besson, who is a French character.
French. Yeah, she was like the first character I had an accent with, so that was challenging. But she was a fun character. So basically, she comes in season 2. The characters go on a trip abroad to France, and she bumps into the 2 main characters. She's a manga artist, and she looks at them like, oh my god, you're like the characters that I've been making. Please model for me. And they're like, what the? She's crazy. No.
Where do you get that inspiration to have a French accent doing English dub?
Ooh, yes. So I remember during college and high school, they talk about voiceover and having these specialties, these niches. And a lot of voiceover classes teach dialects, because that's just another way to expand your range. Instead of just, making your voice higher, making your voice deeper. You can do accents and dialects. And French was one of those that I was taught. And so when I got this audition for this character, I was like, oh my gosh, I know how to do this accent. I'm going to try.
Wait, so, it just happened that you knew about it, or the director knew that you knew French dialect?
I think they have a roster of what all the accents and dialects that all the actors can do. And then they pull up that list like, oh, she can do a French accent. She can do a French accent. Send them the audition and pick somebody. That's what I assume happens.
So we can say that that's part of the importance of having a good resume and all the details and skill.
Mm-hmm. And being able to pull off those skills that you write on your resume.
The right skill that you don't have your resume, only you can pull them.
Yeah. And you want to lie about it and be like, okay, I can't do that actually.
You don't want to be in the interview and then suddenly they realize, or you realize that you're not really suitable for that position.
Yeah.
Well, I've been there one time. It was awful. So they'll go through that.
Yeah, no.
I was at one point of the interview like, can we wrap it up already? Like, I know I failed already. We know, I failed. I know I failed. Can we just shake it and call it a day? It's 4 o'clock already. But anyway, moving on to another character, which I feel like I've seen this series. The greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody when you have the character of Sylphy, Marheaven.
Yes.
What is this series about?
Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen the show, so I can't exactly remember everything that happens. She's also the first character the first named recurring character I've ever gotten. So basically, it's another isekai, and the main character is OP. And it's another harem type of isekai, and he goes to magic school, and all these women come into his life.
Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, I've seen this one. And how do you describe your character, Sylphy?
She is a red ball of fire. Sylphy is she's 3,000 years old, first of all. And then she comes in blazing a sword. She is a battle-ready demon, and she is ready to fight anybody.
Tell me here. I'm reading the description of Sylphy, and I see that age 3,000 plus, species human. How?
Yeah, right? It's like, how
does
does that
that
work? That makes no sense.
Do they explain? I thought when you said 3,000, I was like, elf. It's an elf. But now she is human. So do they explain why she is a human with 3,000 year olds?
No.
It must be a lot.
She's gotta be something. Unless... No. There's a lifespan in the show is just, oh, humans just live for very long.
Like, I mean, I'm sure we're expecting a season. Yeah, they were expecting season 2 for this series, right? So
I haven't
no,
heard anything about it. I think
it
this
must
came out
be.
2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm sure. I'm sure we're going to hear if we have a season 2, we're going to hear that it was a lie or something like that, because there's no way she has 3,000 years. Oh, no. I'm trying to get my D&D and sci-fi theory, and nothing is connecting here.
Because the way they introduce her, it's like while the main guy died and he got reincarnated, within that 3,000 years, she was just training in a dungeon the whole time.
Wow. 是来复古。
All right, guys, drop in your comments. In the comments, you have better explanation of how Sylphy is 3,000-year-old. You guys want to say, yeah, because maybe on that dungeon there was no time was frozen. Nah, still.
It all makes no sense.
I mean, hopefully somebody can come with a better theory. But Reshel, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Any words of advice for any future voice actor, or just for the fan out there?
So for the future voice actors, keep honing your craft. Acting is so important. It's like you don't always need to have the perfect voice or the voice. Acting is the heart of it all. So just keep focusing on that. And for the fans, thank you so much for supporting all the VAs like me and watching our shows. Please keep watching our shows and keep supporting season 2s. Keep asking them to come.
Absolutely. And hopefully that way we know how Sylphy is 3,000 years old.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For the support, which social media can they follow you?
Yes, I am on all the socials as either ReshelMae.wave or ReshelMae_wave. One of the two.
And like always, guys, just go down to the description of this video, expand. Even YouTube is changing the view of the app. In the description, just expand it, and right there you're going to see Reshel social media links. And we humbly ask you for your subscribe, like, and share in the video. Of course, we need it. That's our way to say, please support us with subscribe, like, and share, and on YouTube and all our social media. Everything that's a new social media, part of me dies, because that means I will have less time. So we are in all the social media. Just go write Koki Otaku and you'll find us everywhere. So Reshel, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we will see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.